Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the 9 p.m. news telecast of the prestigious channel of Sri Lanka. I'm Charita Minipurarachi.
And I'm Kasani Valachandradhikari. We start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
Religious observances were held island-wide on Unduap Full Moon Poi Day, invoking blessings for all affected people. 19,000 migrant workers donated money for the Rebuilding Sri Lanka Fund by yesterday. The sixth tranche of IMF will provide $350 million within the next 2 weeks. Damaged infrastructure facilities are being restored immediately with the support of the 3 armed forces. Inclement weather-hit houses will be identified under a proper mechanism. Foreign countries further provide disaster relief. Nation bids farewell to pilot group captain Nirmal Siambalapitiya. Floods in Indonesia claims 800 lives. Over 1.5 million have been affected by the cyclone.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top story. The Unduap Full Moon Poi Day falls today. It is considered as a day of significance of the history of Buddha Sasana.
The Sri Pada pilgrim season starts from this day. It was on a Poya day like today that the Bhikkhuni order had commenced in the island. According to the Sasana history, 11 Bhikkhunis headed by Arhat Sangamitta Thero had arrived in Sri Lanka from Damadiva in India, carrying the southern branch of the sapling of a Sri Mahabodhi. Many special religious programs are being conducted in viharas throughout the island in connection with the extremely significant events of the Unduap Full Moon Poya Day. The Sri Pada pilgrim season has also commenced on the Unduap Full Moon Poya Day today. Large group of devotees are continuing to arrive at the Sri Pada Sthanaya. The God Saman statue, regalia and the casket of sacred relics were deposited at the Udamalua this morning for the veneration of the general public. The Sri Pada pilgrim season ends on the Vesak Full Moon Poya Day of next year.
Sri Pada Vandana Samaya ලබන වසරේ වෙසක් පොහොය දිනේ
Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation telecasts live throughout the day today of its Unduap Full Moon Poya Day Sadharma Varsha religious program from Purana Raja Mahaviharaya, Kambarupitiya in Matara. The national television religious program is comprised of Buddha Puja, Dhamma sermons and Dhamma discussions were held at the temple under the patronage of Venerable Godakavela Ratana Dhamma Thera.
දන් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක නිසා මේ කාමයන් කෙරෙහි තියෙන ආසාව අත්හරින්න දන් දීම කියන කාරණාව තමයි ටික ටික හුරු කරන්නේ.
Meanwhile, various religious programs have been organized in the temples and Buddhist centers island-wide to convey merits to the victims of the inclement weather and to invoke blessings to the people affected.
Deputy Minister Namal Karunaratne says that the government will take steps to pay a compensation in addition to the compensation paid by the Agrarian Insurance Board for damaged cultivate lands, and the renovation of infrastructure facilities and road systems due to the disaster is being conducted with the assistance of the 3 armed forces. Deputy Minister Namal Karunaratne said that the government will take steps to pay a compensation in addition to the compensation paid by the Agrarian Insurance Board for the damaged cultivated lands due to the floods.
වගා කිරීමට අපි ගොවි ජනතාව පොළඹවනවා. වගා හානිවලට ගෙවපු වන්දි ක්‍රමයක් තියෙනවා. ඒක ඒ විදිහටම යන අතරේ ඊට අමතරව ගොවියට අවශ්‍ය වන්දි ලබා දීමේ සහනාධාර ලබා දීමේ ක්‍රියාවලියකට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අවතීර්ණ වෙනවා. ගොවියා තනි කරන්නේ නැහැ. ගොවියට අවශ්‍ය හයිය ශක්තිය අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම රජයේ විදියට ලබා දෙනවා.
ආපදාවට ලක් වූ ප්‍රදේශවල මාර්ග පද්ධති
A sum of 13 million rupees has been donated to the Rebuilding Sri Lanka Fund in order to restore the road system in disaster-affected areas. The donation has been jointly led by the Port City Colombo Project Management Group and the regional office of the Czech Port City Colombo Private Limited. Steps will be taken by the Czech Port City Colombo Private Limited to provide expert technical know-how and to conduct engineering assessments, road renovations and renovation of bridges. A trained technical team along with 12 machinery used in expediting the development of infrastructure facilities and strengthening slopes along with the restoration of the road system have been already engaged in the central province. The director of the Czech Port City Colombo Private Limited officially handed over the machines to the Sri Lanka Army. Director General of the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, Bambula Herat, said that the telecommunication companies have covered more than 75% in 20 districts so far and assures that no connection will be disconnected.
Disconnect කරන්නේ නැහැ කියන සහතිකය දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම GB එකක data package එක ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා. මිනිත්තු 300ක් නොමිලේ කතා කිරීමට ඒ සහනය ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා.
The lower Kaduganawa section of the Colombo-Kandy main road, which was closed, has been reopened for essential services transportation vehicles since last night. Restoration of the power supply and telephone lines in Bandaravale area is being continued. General Manager of the Ceylon Electricity Board, Noel Priyantha, expressed his views regarding the current status of the power supply after the disaster situation. General Manager of the Ceylon Electricity Board, Noel Priyantha, said that the power supply of more than 86% of the consumers have been restored and the rest will be completed as soon as possible. Cleaning of damaged roads and houses in Vauna districts also commenced today. Sri Lanka Army has joined the restoration of road systems and houses in disaster-stricken areas under the supervision of the Army Commander Lieutenant General Lasanta Rodrigo. According to our correspondents, the collapsed infrastructure facilities in Polonnaruwa district due to floods and disasters is being restored. Repairing of a stretch of Gallal-Vanampitiya section of the Gal-Oya-Batticaloa railway line has also commenced. Cleaning of the historic Somavati sacred site, which was inundated for nearly 8 days, is being conducted these days. With the opening of the sluice gates of the Burugahakanda Reservoir, 13 meters out of 100 meters of the World Heritage Alahara Anicut earth bund has breached. The temporary repair work of the section using sandbags is being conducted these days jointly by the Department of Irrigation and the farming community. Badulla Spring Valley Road has been repaired in order to facilitate the Bodhara. According to our correspondent, the residents of the area have been able to receive essential services and aid with the restoration. Kantale, Seruville and Muttur roads have been reopened since yesterday with the recent floods in Kantale. Muttur, Kandy, Seruville, Colombo passenger transport services has also been commenced. Cleaning of the villages in Samagipura, Kantale with the receding of water flowing of the flood is being conducted now. Water supply has been hampered due to the damages caused to the Paranagama drinking water project. National Water Supply and Drainage Board has taken steps to distribute water with the help of the bowsers as a solution. Steps have been taken to construct a temporary bridge instead of the Thabova 9th Post Bridge, Karavalagaswever on the Puttala-Manuradhapura main road, which has been damaged. The damaged stretch of road near to the Kalawa bridge on Puttala-Manuradhapura main road has also been restored. According to the officials of the Road Development Authority, the road will be ready for vehicular traffic within a few days. Removal of garbage which remained an obstacle to the flow of water near the bridge over the Ging River was conducted recently with the participation of the Sri Lanka Navy. Another operation was conducted today to remove the garbage collected at Gol, Agali and Kurunagala Manikamur bridges with also the participation of the Navy. Fishing activities at Kinya area at Trinkobali have recommenced. Cleaning of their fish and homes of the area will also commence today, and Ayurveda medical camps are also organised in this connection.
President Anrukumar Dissanayake instructed the officials to ensure that the identification of fully and partially damaged houses affected by adverse weather conditions is carried out according to a proper and transparent methodology. The President directed them to establish a special mechanism in order to gather accurate data efficiently, which is essential for the compensation process. The President gave these instructions during a meeting with the officials of the Ministry of Finance and National Housing Development Authority at the Presidential Secretariat this morning, highlighting the importance of providing long-term stable solutions to people living in high-risk and disaster-prone areas so that they are not repeatedly affected by such calamities. The President instructed officials to prioritize the collection of reliable data to support these efforts. Officials from the National Housing Development Authority said that approximately 44,574 houses have sustained partial damage and 1,289 houses have been completely destroyed in the country due to Cyclone Ditwa.
Meanwhile, more than 19,000 overseas employees have deposited money into donations to the Rebuilding Sri Lanka Fund to reconstruct the country after the recent disaster. Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, Dr. Harsha Surya Peruba, made these revelations.
We need to support the rebuilding efforts of livelihoods of citizens and people as well. In order to support those exercises, it's not only the efforts of the government. We have got several requests from the beginning for our fellow citizens who are residing overseas, living overseas, working overseas to contribute and support their fellow citizens, their relatives, their neighbors, brothers and sisters who are here, for them to get involved and support and contribute to the rebuilding and relief exercises. In that regard, some wanted to contribute financially and some wanted to contribute by sending goods to Sri Lanka. For both these mechanisms, government has swiftly made arrangements with the engagement of Ministry of Finance and working with other line ministries and agencies. Several facilities and mechanisms have already been established. In order to remit money, there is single account through the Bank of Ceylon where you can deposit money in any currency into the Bank of Ceylon account, where those funds will be collected and channeled for rebuilding activities. In the event someone wants to contribute through, instead of sending money to the Bank of Ceylon account, they have the option of handing over those money to the relevant Sri Lankan embassy of the country in which that you are residing. Through that mechanism also, the embassy will collect those money and will transfer into the respective accounts of the Sri Lankan government treasury accounts.
Fund established under the instructions of the President to reconstruct the island after the cyclone Ditwa. Convened in the evening yesterday, led by the chairman of the fund, Minister Dr. Anil Janta Fernando. Extensive discussions were conducted in order to enrich the fund. Attention was also paid to participate ambassadors, international institutions and migrant employees in this regard. The assistance of the state and private institutions and individuals, including other matters, were also discussed at the meeting. A discussion was held at the Ministry of Finance yesterday with the diplomatic missions, bilateral and multilateral development partners and international loan institutions. The objective is to assess the damage post-cyclone, relief services, rescue operations and coordination of aid regarding renovations. The discussions held with the joint participation of the Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, and Secretary to the Treasury, Dr. Harsha Surya Peruba, was also attended by a number of senior officials of the government. The Governor of the Central Bank pointed out that the importance of external monetary cooperation due to the limited possibility to pay local debt at present. Foreign ambassadors were requested to provide assistance for the promotion in the tourism sector. A representative of the International Monetary Fund, expressing his views, mentioned that Sri Lanka will receive $350 million as the sixth tranche of the extended fund facility. A number of countries have come forward to provide immediate and including essential humanitarian supplies. Attention was also paid to review loan facilities available again for the renovation of infrastructure infrastructure facilities which are damaged. The World Bank has already commenced an immediate post-disaster assessment. Sri Lanka conveyed the heartfelt gratitude during the discussion for the continuous assistance of all international friendly nations in rebuilding the country and providing assistance to the affected families. A monetary donation of 2 billion rupees was received by the Sri Lanka Rebuilding Sri Lanka Fund yesterday. The president of the Pragati Lanka International Private Limited, DMRD Disanayaka, and president of the Sri Lanka Administrative Service Association, Rohan De Silva, handed over monetary donations amounting to 1 billion rupees each to the President's Secretary, Dr. Nandika Sanath Kumar Nayaka. The Hutch company donated a sum of 60 million rupees today in order to provide relief to the disaster-affected people. The project director of the company, Ann Wan, and chief executive officer in Sri Lanka, Somatra Gupta, handed over the concerned check to the President's Secretary. The Hutch company has taken necessary measures to provide call data free of cost of short messages, to provide mobile charging cells, and to engage engineering to repair communication towers as soon as possible.
Relief services for the affected are being continuously carried out, and many parties have been rendering their contribution to this process. Medical clinics have been organised in the safety camps in Vaunia district. Vaunia MOH office, staff of the General Hospital and other staff members extend their support to conduct these clinics. Caretaker of Ruanveri Saya, Venerable Italavatna Vave Jnanathirakathera, donated finance and material aid to the temples affected in the Anuradhapura district. This relief program is effective for 100 temples in the district. About 25,000 persons who are staying at safety camps in Kandy district were provided with cooked meals today. It has been organised by the historic Katragama Devalaya in Kandy. The Bank of Ceylon handed over a stock of dry rations to the Anuradhapura District Secretary to be distributed among the displaced people by floods. The stock of dry rations is amounting to nearly 7 million rupees. The Inter-University Students Federation and Students Union of the Peradeniya University jointly started a labour campaign titled Diri Paura at the Peradeniya University premises today. The objective is to restore the damaged environment in the university. Kota Divisional Secretariat daily prepares 5,000 food packets to be distributed among the flood-affected people in the Sedavatta and Kottuvila Grama Niladhari divisions. Owner of the LR Motors Indika has provided transport facilities for this project, and Kota Municipal Council, Valikada Police, Excise Department, Youth Society Forum, government and non-governmental organizations have jointly provided food items for this move. The Sri Lanka Air Force continuously carrying out relief services and rescue missions island-wide. They also dispatched the donated items to affected areas. The Bank of Ceylon donated a stock of dry rations and other essential items worth 7 million rupees today for the affected people in Anuradhapura district. The distribution of aid was held at the Ruanveli Mahasaya Temple and District Secretariat premises in Anuradhapura in the midst of blessings of the Mahasangha. The rest of the items were officially handed over to District Secretary Ranjit Vemala Surya. The staff of the Bank of Ceylon has donated relief items to 10 districts in the island.
Another Indian aircraft carrying humanitarian aid reached the island this afternoon and yesterday. This is a part of the continuation of the program to provide relief to disaster-stricken people of the country. Indian High Commissioner Santosh Jha officially handed over the stocks of aid to the Deputy Director of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Diana Pereira, and officials of the Disaster Management Centre. It includes 50 tons of iron barrel bridges required for the renovation of the road system in disaster-affected areas, 500 water purification plants, and essential medicines. The Indian National Disaster Response Force conducted life-saving operations at Sedavatta and Nadikam areas on the 2nd of this month under the Sagaru Bandhu operation. They have also rescued 52 stranded persons. Also, Indian High Commissioner Santosh Jha was present to inspect the concerned operations. The Indian National Disaster Response Force is also assisting in fulfilling the immediate water requirements in the Gampa area, along with engaging in cleaning of wells and water purification in order to provide safe drinking water to those families. A specialist task force arrived in the island in this noon today aboard a C-17 aircraft of the Indian Air Force to provide assistance to the program by the government for the infrastructure development. They have bought two-way barrel bridge arrangements of a length of 110 feet along with the equipment necessary in building barrel bridges. The team includes 5 members of a medical team and a team of 20 engineers trained in building of instant bridges. 5 dinghy boats are required for security and rescue operations also included in the consignment. Pakistani Air Force aircraft reached the island in the afternoon yesterday with a search and rescue team and emergency relief material. The Pakistan High Commissioner in this country officially handed over the stock of aid to Sri Lanka. The occasion was attended by Deputy Minister Janitha Ruwan and a team of officials. The aircraft carrying 47 members of the Indian Army Search and Rescue Operation Unit had also sent 6.5 metric tons of essential equipment. The aid include tents, blankets, bedspreads, life-saving jackets, inflatable boats, water-removing pumps, lamps, mats, mosquito nets, infant milk food, food items and a stock of other essential materials. Pakistan has taken steps to broaden the humanitarian aid being provided to the island after discussions between the Sri Lankan President and the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Japan has taken steps to establish a field hospital to treat the people affected by the disaster situation. A complete hospital staff of 41, including doctors, to maintain the hospital arrived at Katunayake International Airport in the early morning today. Plans are afoot to establish the field hospital near the Chilaw General Hospital. The relief team has brought along with the team and them the medical equipment required for the hospital along with all facilities for laboratory investigations. Minister Professor Krishant Abesena, Japanese Ambassador in Sri Lanka Akito Isamata, Director General of the Health Services Dr. Asela Gunawardena welcomed the team at the airport. Minister Professor Krishant Abesena said that Japan is a close friend of Sri Lanka and provided the country with assistance on many occasions. A team of more than 30 has arrived along with the various medical equipment. The government thanks them all for their gesture, the minister added. Chief of the relief team Yuan Zenichiro said that the government of Japan has sent a team of medical relief services to help people affected by the cyclone. Japan has also expressed grief to the people affected by the disaster. The objective is to help people in returning to normalcy again, where such relief teams, he pointed out.
අපේ ජපාන් රජය දැඩි ශෝකය ප්‍රකාශ කරන අතර මෙවැනි සහන කණ්ඩායම ඇවීම හරහා අමාරු තත්ත්වයට පත්වෙච්ච මිනිසුන්ගේ ජීවිත ඉක්මනට හකීක්මනට යථා තත්ත්වයට පත්තු වෙන්න තමයි අපේ ආරමුණයි.
The Japan International Cooperation Agency has officially handed over another stock of emergency relief material donated by the government of Japan in continuation of its assistance to the people of Sri Lanka affected by the cyclone Ditwa to the Disaster Management Center. The stock of aid received in this country yesterday was handed over to the Deputy Minister of Defence Aruna Jayasekara and Director General of the Disaster Management Centre retired Major General Sampath Kotuwegoda by Japanese Ambassador in Sri Lanka Akio Izumata and Chief Representative of JICA in the country Kengi Kurunoma. The Chinese Red Cross Society has donated $100,000 to the Sri Lanka Red Cross Society. In addition, Chinese businessmen and citizens of the country have also donated 10 billion rupees for the relief efforts. Chinese President Xi Jinping has sent a message of condolences to the President Anurukumar Dissanayake regarding the unexpected disaster that has struck Sri Lanka. The message sent by the Chinese President states that he was shocked to learn that the severe weather had caused significant loss of life and economic damage to the country. The message states that on behalf of the Chinese people and the Chinese government, he expresses his deepest condolences to the victims of the disaster and expresses my deepest sympathies to the families and the affected people.
Roads in several areas of the country are still closed due to the adverse effects of the Ditwa cyclone. Floodwaters are receding in some parts of the country and the Disaster Management Centre announces that 1,614,827 persons belonging to 455,418 families have been displaced. The government has taken measures in order to continuously provide required facilities for the people residing at safety camps. It has been decided to further close the roads in many areas of Central Hills that were affected by the inclement weather. Accordingly, Ambewala-Valimada Road, Ambewala-Nuwara Road via Pattipola and Valimada will further remain closed due to the risk of falling earth mounds and boulders. The Road Development Authority announces that toll will be charged from the vehicles using expressways as usual. Vehicles were allowed to enter the expressway toll free from the 27th November due to the influence of the cyclone. The National Building Research Organisation has issued red notices of evacuation for 40 divisional secretariat areas in 4 districts. Accordingly, the red notices is effective for Kandy, Matale, Kegol and Kurunegala districts. Senior scientists at the NBRO, Dr. Vasanta Senadira, said that according to the Met Department, rainy conditions are expected from the 6th to 9th December, mostly affecting the southern province. Addressing the media, he said that it is predicted that rainy conditions will continue from 9 to 13 December, affecting the central province, mostly Matale, Batul and Nuwara districts. He said even though the rainy conditions are expected to reduce thereafter, it will recommence from 16 to 19 December, affecting the central province once again. Dr. Vasanta Senadira explained that the rain conditions are expected due to the northeast monsoon season and urged the public to remain vigilant. Showers or thundershowers may occur after 1 p.m. in other areas of the island. Meanwhile, some areas in the western and Safaragama provinces may receive fairly strong showers exceeding 75 millimeters. Meanwhile, a special discussion on the current disaster situation was held yesterday at the Disaster Operations Centre. Army Commander Lieutenant General Lasant Rodriguez said that over 25,000 soldiers have been deployed for relief activities at present. Among them, there are 700 naval officers and 2,200 Air Force officers. Over 28,500 soldiers have been deployed for rescue missions. Forces have been able to rescue 31,000 people so far.
Donations are being received from all over the island today as well for the Nosidena Dayava, the social welfare program conducted by the national television. Material aid collected are being handed over to the concerned district secretariats to be distributed among the disaster affected people. Nosidena Dayava, the social welfare program of the national television, is being implemented for the 7th day today to provide relief to the people affected by the adverse rainy weather condition island-wide. Large number of necessary aid to be provided to the disaster-stricken areas is being received to the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation premises from the people and the government and private institutions. The stock of relief material transported to be distributed among the displaced people in Polonnaruwa district under the Nosidena Dayava social welfare program of the national television were handed over to the district office in early morning today. The consignment of aid was received by the district secretary Sujante Kanayaka. A stock of humanitarian aid under the Nosidena Dayava social welfare program of the national television was handed over to the district secretariat office today. The general public can contribute to the Nosidinadaava Sabadiyave Satkara community welfare program being jointly operated by the National Television and STLT Mobitel. Material aid can be handed over during office hours to the Mobitel head office at WAD Ramanayak Bhavada Colombo 2 and SLT regional offices at Nogeguda, Vattala, Ampara, Manthura, Panadura and Kurunagala, and Mobitel branch offices in Anuradhapura, Jaffna, Kandy, Kurunagala, Mathura, Ratnapura and Batiklu. The Friendship Association of the Sri Babodhi Vihare Morantudava Vaduva donated a stock of aid to the Nosidinadaava social welfare program of the national television yesterday. The consignment of aid is due to be distributed among the disaster affected people in the Nuwara district.
The funeral of pilot Group Captain Nirmal Simbalapitiya, who died in a helicopter crash in the Lunuvilla area of Wenapua while providing relief to the disaster affected, was held today with full Air Force honours at the Mount Lavinia Public Cemetery. The body of pilot Group Captain Nirmal Simbalapitiya was laid to rest at his home in Ratmalana. President Andrukumara Disanayaka and many ministers and MPs were present to pay their last respects to the deceased. Asanka Sajit Nirmal Simbalapitiya, born in 1984, joined the Sri Lanka Air Force in 2005. He later completed the Advanced Helicopter Training course at the Aviation Division and received training on the Bell 206, 212, 412 and Mi-17 helicopters. Nirmal Simbalapitiya, who was promoted to Wing Commander in 2024, is also one of the officers with the most flying hours while on active duty in the Sri Lanka Air Force. The Sri Lanka Air Force says he has flown over 3,000 hours. Group Captain Nirmal Simbalapitiya has served as a helicopter pilot in the Royal Sri Lanka Air Force and has also performed duties on behalf of presidents. He was trained in India and China and also served as a pilot for the United Nations Peacekeeping Force. He has also received numerous medals including Purna Bhumi, North and East Operational Services, Eastern Humanitarian Operations, Northern Humanitarian Operations, 75th Independence and Seva Abhimani. This is a clear demonstration of Nirmal being an officer who has performed his duties properly and has not neglected the responsibilities assigned to him. In recognition of Nirmal Simbalapitiya's excellent service, the Commander of the Air Force has taken steps in order to promote him from the rank of Wing Commander to the rank of Group Captain with effect from 30th November 2025. Group Captain Nirmal Simbalapitiya, who had rendered great public service and brought glory to the Air Force, ended his life's mission at a time when the entire country was beset by disaster and tragedy. At a time when all are doing their utmost to provide life to the suffering people, Group Captain Asanka Sajit Nirmal Simbalapitiya, the Sri Lanka Television Corporation and the nation salute you for your service.
Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayantisa says that the Met Department has not issued any weather warnings on the 12th of November, although the opposition parties claim so. He told the Parliament yesterday that the relevant institution has taken necessary steps soon after they received the first official announcement of the 25th of November over the disaster situation. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayantissa rejected the criticism levelled against the government regarding the recent disaster. He said that it has been rumoured in various places that the disaster, which caused deaths, disappearances and massive damage, was forewarned. Especially the date November 12th has been mentioned, with critics alleging that the warnings was ignored. Dr. Jayantissa then challenging any opposition member who had presented such claims to table the official document in the House if any institution had officially issued such a statement on the 12th of November. He referred to the reports from the Department of Meteorology for November, asserting that the department had not officially issued any such pre-warning anywhere. He clarified the official weather statements from the Department of Meteorology are the basis of the alerting the Disaster Management Centre and other relevant institutions. He claimed that several members of Parliament had falsely and maliciously distorted the information on a certain TV channel, attempting to create public opinion that the danger was known on the 12th. Regarding the actual timeline, Dr. Jayantissa stated that the distribution of weather starting the morning of the 19th had concluded on the 18th, and the turbulent sea conditions starting on the evening of the 18th had ended around the 22nd or the 23rd. He maintained that the first official government announcement predicting the current situation was made at 10 a.m. on the 25th, informing of a developing low pressure condition. Dr. Jayantissa detailed the immediate government response, stating that the Ministry of Defence Military Coordinating Officer, the commanders of the Tri-Forces, the Inspector General of Police, the Department of Civil Defence and the Director General of the Coast Guard were immediately informed. Furthermore, Deputy and Assistant Directors of the Disaster Management Centre in the districts were instructed to remain in their districts due to the developing disaster situation. Welcome back with the international stories. And Indonesia is investigating the companies suspected of clearing forest and flood-hit areas in Sumatra. Its forestry, the minister said, acknowledging poor forest management worsened the disaster.
The death toll from cyclone-driven floods and landslides rose to 836, with hundreds still missing across West Sumatra, North Sumatra and Aceh, government data showed. Landslides have cut power and blocked roads, hampering rescue efforts. Forestry Minister Raja Juli Antoni told Parliament the government will review forest governance, consider a moratorium on new permits and revoke the licenses of violators. He did not identify specific companies. Energy Minister Bhaila Ladhalia also signalled mining permits could be scrapped if rules were breached. Environmental groups blame deforestation for scale. Green groups blame deforestation linked to mining and logging for amplifying the damage, pointing to images of logs washed ashore that sparked public outrage. Sumatra has lost 4.4 million hectares of forest since 2001, said David Gaviu, founder of deforestation monitor Nusantara Atlas.
And that's it on tonight's stories, and we, the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, take this opportunity to pay the deepest respect to Group Captain Nirmal Siambalapitiya and the nation salute to the tremendous service that you have done. Signing off tonight, I'm Charita with Kasumi. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.